What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul,
Nate.
bringing you the latest on Survivor Ghost Island, episode 10. Okay, guys, so we just came off of an interesting tribal council. Nate, you want to review what happened last time?
Yeah, I would love to review because I absolutely love this episode because it was more like a relief than anything. So first thing that happened was they just get back from tribal, blah blah blah. Michael's like, oh yeah, I got the idol, and then they go into the reward challenge, and Donathan's not picked, so he can't go to Ghost Island or go on the reward.
Well, actually, I think even before the reward challenge, Desi actually has the conversation. She brings.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She talks to Malolo, and she's basically like, "Listen, I want to turn on Navidi because I'm on the bottom of Navidi, so I want to turn on Kellen, Dom, and Wendell." So go ahead.
Yeah. So basically she does that, which by the way is the incorrect time to tell anyone that you want to flip. You tell people you want to flip after the immunity challenge. Anyway, they go to the reward challenge, and Donathan is sat out, and I love how they're not even trying to hide the fact that Ghost Island isn't a detriment to your game anymore. They're just like, oh, Don misses out on going to Ghost Island, and it's like yeah, it's pretty good going to Ghost Island. You get food, you get shelter, like guaranteed fire, a chance at an advantage. It's pretty good going to Ghost Island.
I was actually kind of hoping that they would have like one of those secret advantages like under Donathan's seat or whatever, but it didn't. He ended up not having to need any of that because he just ends up fighting two halves of an idol after the reward challenge. But we'll get to that.
That was my favorite idol of the season so far. But anyway,
I know Scott's idol. Oh man, brings back good memories when Ty didn't play that.
So Kellen, who is it? Kellen, Chelsea, Sebastian, Michael, and I think it's who is it? Jenna or Laurel? Laurel's the fifth. They go on the reward. Michael tries.
Oh wait, no, it was Mike, Jenna, Chelsea, Sebastian, Kellen. Yeah.
Oh, it was Jenna. Okay, so
it was Jenna. Sorry.
That like, hey, I'm a loyal vote. I just want to stay. And Kellen's just like, yeah, it's pretty obvious that he's the next target. I just want him gone because he's dangerous. And
I do want to say like as normally you do see a lot of game talk during like these reward challenges. I don't like just the ambience of how he transitioned to it. I don't think he did a good job. We have Mike Lawson in the chat saying you're both hyped for next episode, double elimination.
Yes. But like Michael, like first of all, when you're talking game in a reward challenge, you don't want to do it when everyone just started eating, when they're in the middle of the eating. You want to wait until the end. One, because they're happier, they have enjoyed their meal. They're more keen on listening because they're well rested, and they're more excited because they now have that energy in them. Every single time that you see like people have successful talks at reward challenges, it's towards the end of the reward because people just want to enjoy what they have first and then go back to the stress.
Exactly. I think Mike was too eager because he knows his position in the game. He knows he's in a bad spot. He had 7, maybe 8 votes. I think it was 7. I think we agreed it was 7. Last tribal council, he had to use an idol to save himself. So he sees himself in the worst position right now. And he has an aside to the audience. And he's like, this is my chance. So we're thinking, okay, maybe he's going to set something up here. But
no, it just falls flat because
Kellen shuts him down. Sebastian shuts him down.
Especially Chelsea is probably would be fine with it. Sebastian would have been fine talking game with him. It's just the fact that Kellen's there. And, she's not the person they want to be strategizing right in front of because Kellen's going to shut it down. So it just was very poor timing. It just yes, that was a good reward challenge in general is good timing, but at that certain point in time, it's not a good time to talk about game.
Right, or even the helicopter back might have been a good time because it's like, oh, you're enjoying a nice view, and it's just like, hey, look, I love this island. I love to be here. Wish I can stay here another vote.
Because it sounds like you're being a little bit passive aggressive, and that's just I think that's how Michael came across, and it's just. I'd really like to stay here, guys. I want to keep enjoying these sandwiches with you. And it's like, what?
I want to keep going on. I want to keep going on rewards. Okay.
Oh,
And I want to stay. Okay.
yeah, great. Like,
Day by day, buddy. Day by day.
exactly. Who was it? It's
Oh, by the way,
goes to Ghost Island.
yeah, Angela goes to Ghost Island. And honestly, it was disappointing to me, or maybe not, because maybe
I
the
was
advantage.
I'm more disappointed in the producers giving them a better chance at getting an advantage than I am in Angela not getting an advantage.
Well, no, do you know why they give them a better event? They give them a better shot
because
now.
they want more advantages in the game.
No. In my opinion, it's because Kellen didn't take that one that other time. So because Kellen didn't take that one that other time, the odds ever since that point has improved. By the way, Mike in the chat just says, honestly, if I was Michael, I would have looked for the idol myself and not tell anybody. I agree. But even then, he would need the other half of the idol, which was under the mat. Also a good point. Yeah, I would have.
Not everyone on that tribe is Desi and is going to just let Michael look for an idol. So it's like, the thing is, like one thing, like, I'm happy someone finally got a no vote, because in my opinion, someone getting their vote nulled is more exciting than someone getting an advantage, because it adds a layer of complexity, but it's also very simple at the same time. And I like that complexity and the simplicity of it all.
I think what's unique about this and what ends up happening with the vote later is we're pretty well. It ends up not mattering, although it might matter to Chelsea, because Chelsea voted for Michael and probably expected Angela to vote for Michael too, and she probably was going to, knowing Angela, because she has a good relationship with them. She's going to see two votes and not three, because they would have shown the third one. Because they always do. So if Chelsea puts 2 and 2 together, maybe she talks to Angela.
I think Angela's more in the know than I think a lot of people credit her for, especially after the last episode, because she was very willing last episode to give information. And this time she just kind of took a back seat. And I think that's more credence to how Angela is playing. Angela is probably the most improved player out of the entire season. She went from someone who was on their way home just for being associated with someone else to someone who's not being brought up whatsoever. She's definitely a power player. She was the person that got the ball rolling last round. So like I think Angela's playing well.
She has no enemies on the jury, at least so far.
No one hates her. I think it's
Chris votes for her, probably. Libby she wanted to get Mike out and not Libby. She was the one that spearheaded that plan.
Mm-hmm. And everyone, and I don't think Michael really directly faults her or thinks that it's her fault. So I think that she's just in a very good position. Unfortunately, I don't know if the rest of the cast actually really views her as a big player, which is great for longevity in the game, but when you're trying to win, it's not good. So I hope Angela can do well at the end, because I actually want to see her at the end now and have her explain her game. But
yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see too. Although I think it's like up and down with her. I never know what she's going to do next.
Yeah, and I think
could be detrimental next time.
She's just a very interesting player.
I expected her to have more physical aspects because of the whole military background, but I guess she is an older woman now and she's out of the military. So,
and then they get to the immunity challenge, which half the cast just is horrible, which is awesome.
Whoa. Hold on. Some stuff happens before the immunity challenge.
I want to talk about the meat and bones.
Okay, so first off, Laurel.
Oh yeah, I skipped that. I thought that happened after. I'm sorry. I'm just like.
No, don't worry. You're excited. I love it. Laurel goes up to Dominic. Well, first off, she talks to Donathan, and Donathan's like, I'm basically willing to flip. And Laurel's kind of has an aside with us, and she's like, yeah, I'm not really sure if I am, but I'm probably not there yet. So she goes and talks to Dom, and she throws Desi under the bus as the one who's planting seeds, saying that, hey, she wants to get out Kellen, you, and Wendell. And Dom's like, okay, yeah, I mean, I believe it. So then we have an interesting aside from Dom, who says that Desi wants to go against the family, which I love because that's such an Italian thing.
It's a very Italian thing, but it's also a very fitting description, because I feel like a Old Navidi is very much a
mob family.
Very much a mafia family, yeah. Because if basically if they have a member that is against their family, they're getting rid of that person, and that's exactly what happened tonight.
And you have Dom and Wendell as the heads, and it's just so fitting, like seeing them as like mob bosses for some reason.
And like the thing is, they are definitely like Dom and Wendell have like seriously improved their game since the beginning. First of all, but like, and everyone's like, oh, they need to go. They're on top. They need to go. I'm like, no, they're playing well. I think they're playing very well, and that's showed tonight. And the fact that people are like, oh, just because they're on top, and then big move needs to be made. I'm like, no, a big move does not need to be made. A correct move needs to be made. There's a difference.
Right.
So, but anyway, yeah. So Laurel talks to Dom and is just like, yo, like this is what happened. Everyone's like, why did Laurel? Like I've been seeing so many people.
But then Dom, but then Dom talks to Kellen, and Kellen isn't having any of it. So Kellen's perspective, and this has been her perspective since the beginning. To me, I can hardly fault her for having this trust in Desi, only because Desi's flip does not make any sense.
Yeah.
So Kellen's like, why would she flip? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And Dom's like, I'm not really sure, but we gotta like figure this out, basically.
And to be fair, none of what Desi has done all season made any strategic sense whatsoever. So like the thing is like one, I don't know why the hell Desi thought this was a good idea. To begin with.
Mike in the chat says, good job to Des for at least trying to make a move. She has done almost nothing this entire game. I wish the move would have ended up happening. Thoughts?
No, Desi has done things this game. She's just done bad things this game. And it's like here's the thing. She tried to make a move. She tried to make a big move, but it was the wrong move at the wrong time against the wrong person. And it was just like, everything she could have possibly done wrong, she did wrong in this episode. And because here's the thing, what a lot of people are forgetting is that trust is very, very important in a game like this. You need to be able to trust the people that you want to make moves with. If you cannot trust them, do not make a move with them. So Desi has been against former Malolo since the switch happened. She's been the first switch happened after top 18. She's been against former Malolo. All of a sudden, out of the blue, Desi just wants to flip on Navidi and go straight to Malolo and be like, hey, let's take out the people on top because that's the best move to make for my game. And Malolo's just like, well, we don't trust you because every single round you've been screaming at us that a Malolo needs to go. And so whereas Dom and Wendell have been much more open and giving with information to the Malolo, former Malolo, and been like, hey, just stick with us. Therefore, Malolo is going to stick with the people that are giving them information and giving them their time to play.
And not only that, but she also approaches like 4 people at the same time. Mm-hmm. Really, if you want to build bridges and relationships in this game, she should have really singled out one member and talked to them about, hey, look, I'm maybe considering doing this. And then have it spread out like that. And that's like a natural transition. Be like, hey, I hear this is a move that could possibly be made. Would you be interested? Yada, yada, yada.
And basically, Desi, she went to them and was basically, I'm your Jesus now. That's basically what she did.
Right. She's the Messiah.
Exactly. And all the Malolo is like, no, you're full of crap because we can't trust you to stick with us after Kellen goes. And if Kellen goes, yes, I don't think Kellen has that strength, great of a tie to former Malolo. The thing is, they know that Kellen is close with Dom and Wendell. It's obvious. If they take out Kellen without telling Dom and Wendell, who's going to be pissed? The 2 people with idols. It makes no strategic sense for Laurel to flip on them.
And the 2 people who are really in charge of that whole entire side. If you're gonna make a big move, make it stick. All right,
exactly.
So let's get to the immunity challenge. So you had to just basically balance a ball.
Yeah. It was very difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult, honestly, because a lot of people dropped out very early on, and yet its ropes are pretty far.
I think that was honestly, I think this episode was very, very good for Wendell's game because he was the first person out of that challenge. 2, his name barely came up. It was mostly just in association with Dom and Kellen. And then 3, like, he was almost completely invisible for the majority of the episode. He was just happened to be like standing around when Desi was confronting Malolo.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
This was a great episode for Wendell. Like, everyone's like, oh, why wasn't he more there? And I'm like, because when you do something big, you kind of want to go under the radar so you're not a constant target.
Yeah, especially when there's still 11 players left.
Yeah, and people seem to forget that this is as much of a long-term game as it is a short-term game. You need to be thinking both about long-term ramifications to your short-term decisions.
Hold on, Mike is asking if Laurel wasn't there, do we think that Desi would have been able to pull this off? I don't think she would have. I don't think she would have had the numbers if I'm doing the math in my head, because Angela wouldn't have voted.
Who's there instead of Laurel? That's the question.
I get right, because if Donathan's there, Laurel's going to find out.
Yeah.
Right, but maybe if she learns about it through Donathan and it's a more positive direction there. I mean, there's a lot of speculation here, but I would say it doesn't work. Although it's good to eliminate one of those idols that Wendell and Dom has. Yeah, I mean, it is a good idea to eliminate one of them. That wasn't Desi's plan.
Yeah.
Her plan was to give it to Kellen.
Options now that they've voted clearly in the majority, and they have the trust of the people who have the most power. So it's like trusting Desi when she does not have a lot of power and she's not been with you whatsoever and has not tried to build good trust with you throughout the game. It's not a smart move. Like
So back to the immunity challenge. So honestly, people drop out like flies. And it wasn't that long of a challenge, at least from my perspective. I mean, maybe they did an editing.
10, 15 minutes.
Maybe they did the editing really well. I think they only got to like the second round, right? But then I wrote back. It was between Sebastian and Chelsea at the end. And I remember like a fly like flew on Sebastian, and I was like, "Oh shit, is it over?" No, it wasn't over, but it was like a minute later. Sebastian dropped. And Chelsea wins immunity. So
Chelsea does something. Look at that.
Yeah, one she did something, and 2 she wins immunity. So I'm happy for Chelsea. I mean, she's played a very quiet game so far. So
the edit has shown her to play a very quiet game, and I think that's very unfortunate. And here's what I think what's happening with Chelsea. I think she has a very good understanding, at least up until this episode, about how things are actually going on in the game. The thing is, I think in her confessionals, like coming from an editing point of view, her confessionals, like I'm sure she's probably saying a lot of the same things that some of the players that are being shown are saying themselves. And one, if they just show a confessional of her that's redundant, like it's pointless and just waste time. And on top of that, like there are other people that have been just much more relevant to what's actually been going on that are saying the same things that she's saying. So like, for example, Desi tonight. Desi was more important in this episode because Desi goes home and blows up her own game. Even though more than likely Chelsea was agreeing with Desi throughout the entire round and saying like, yes, these are the things that need to happen. But Desi was just what she was saying was more important to the story.
And by the way, I think we forgot to mention, but even before the immunity challenge, again, Donathan and Mike decide to go searching for an idol together.
Oh, yeah.
Now, why they decided to go together, who knows? I mean, I'm not even sure they're really that close. Maybe they're closer than I think they are.
But like he didn't want to.
Jonathan's like, "Hey, let's go searching," and Mike's like, "Yeah, I want an idol, so sure."
Yeah. But Donathan, like, I think that just betters Donathan because one, it weakens Michael and prevents Michael from hiding an idol again.
It also builds trust with well, I guess Malolo, because those are the only people that he tells.
Exactly.
He finds,
and on top of that, it helps Donathan because one, like, honestly, this whole situation, like, yes, like
he doesn't need an idol, so he's good.
Yeah, it's good. It benefits Donathan. Unfortunately, he told half the tribe that he has the idol. But it's oh my gosh, like. However, that was my favorite idol of the entire season because, one, I like it when idols are hidden in the middle of the camp because they're way more riskier to get to than any other idol. There's more risk to it. and you
So
have to earn it. It's just better.
let's talk about this. So he finds half an immunity idol, which used to be a regular immunity idol back in season 32. Right? Was it 32?
Yeah, it was 32. Kurong was 32.
Right. So Scott's idol. Well, the super, and the other half was the other idol that Ty was supposed to put together to save Scott with using the super idol. Still a great scene, but it's also probably why Ty lost that game. Though also possibly why he made it that far in the first place. But this isn't the time for that. Anyway, so then he goes back to camp, and the other idol is hidden under what's it called? Hidden under the.
It was the other half. It was I think it was Ty's portion of the idol was hidden under their shelter.
Right, and shelter. Yeah. That's the word.
Yeah, and they had to Donathan was literally just sitting on it, just trying to get to it, and all of a sudden Malolo just surrounds him and is like, "Hey, what you doing?" And he's like, I have an idol up my ass, but I can't get it. And it's
he tells Laurel, he tells Jenna, he tells Mike, and I'm sitting there like, oh.
Wendell's right within earshot and can probably hear him. It's.
I know, it's really. I mean, but if anyone else heard him, they would have showed a confessional. But
so, I don't know. It was just he was just not conspicuous about. He was completely conspicuous about the whole thing. He was like, dude, just be sneaky. Just be like, yeah, can you guys just go for 5 seconds? I need to be alone. And it's just all
right, so let's go hit another shelter. Tells Laurel, Mike, and Jenna. Yeah. Okay, so back to the following the immunity challenge, which Chelsea wins. There's some there's a lot of talk going around camp. First off, Kellen confronts Desi. She's like, hey, look, this is what I'm hearing. Dom told Laurel that you're coming after me. Is that true? And Desi's like, no, it's not true. It's not true. Blah, 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 blah. Although I do have to say, Desi is a very good liar. I think I put a tweet out before. No one could tell that she was lying.
Kellen couldn't tell she was lying. There's the thing is, I saw your tweet earlier where it was she has a good poker face. And I will say that her body language and her social dynamics were what gave her away. You don't act erratic. You don't yell. You don't look uncomfortable and frazzled. It was obvious she was telling a lie.
That's how I look when I tell the truth.
Yeah, no matter how emotionless she looked on her face, the rest of her body was just giving her away. So it was just,
Well, fair enough there. Although I still stand by my poker face statement. And it's certainly many people in the camp were still confused by it. Though, like you said, her behavior, confronting Malolo after and basically yelling at them, that probably was not a good look. And then Wendell overhears the conversation. So she confronts Laurel, basically yells at her in front of the whole Malolo tribe. And they're like, okay, well, not Malolo tribe, the whole previous Malolo tribe members. And then Wendell overhears, and then she changes direction completely. She's like, no, I never said that anyway, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. She gave them too much ammo, too much witness power, basically. If you're going to go in front of that many people and try to lie to their faces, they're all going to use that against you. If you go to one-on-one, it's harder for them to say it's harder for everyone to say hey, yeah, this person is lying. This person's lying. But when you have 4 people that heard the conversation and you have Donathan who was there with Laurel and saying yeah, Desi came to us and said this, you're going to get outnumbered even if you're not telling the truth. And the way that Desi was acting, it just made things worse.
So then Laurel and Desi both talk to Dom at the same time. And Dom at this point, he's he's agreeing.
He believes Laurel. Yeah.
Yeah, he believes Laurel. I mean, he has a better relationship with Laurel than he does with Desi anyway. Also, an interesting number is that Dom also talks to Michael this episode. And this was a short little thing and wasn't really I don't think it was really necessary to show, which could possibly mean something later on in the upcoming episodes about wanting to keep the powerful players together.
Yeah.
And that includes Michael, because Michael, Wendell, Dom, probably Laurel are really
Kellen
four
as
power.
well. I would say Kellen's a power player.
Sure, Kellen's a power player. Well, and I guess
I
so.
think she's playing one of the better games. I think her stock went down tonight just by the way that she was demanding that Michael goes, because she showed her cards like crazy during that whole conversation. And Dom's just sitting there like, yeah, keep talking. I will write all of this down and make sure that I know how all of your relationships are working. And so I think that
Right, she said the girls were going one way.
Laurel and Dom played the hell out of tonight. They were the best players of the night by far. Dom kept his options open, and Laurel was the one who just acted truthful. Like Laurel comes out of this on top because she looks very trustworthy. She looks non-threatening because she was thrown out of the bus repeatedly and like seen as a victim of the whole situation, and she looks loyal. So
that's what Dom's looking for right now. And to me it goes back to what he says about the family. Laurel is part of the family, and when you're in like a mob situation, loyalty is the only thing that matters. So and Laurel really showed that this episode. She took a stand, and she said last episode, and I still remember this, and it also makes I think whenever she does betray them, which I still think she will later down the road, because otherwise it would be
putting a lot of signs to Laurel betraying them at some point.
And because they would not have shown that last episode if she doesn't end up doing it at some point. But now they won't see it coming even more. So it'll be an even bigger episode, and I'm really excited for that when it comes up.
I am significantly less excited with the news that Jenna wants Donathan out based off of the promo that we got, but regardless,
whatever. Jenna wants a lot of things.
So anyway, they go to Tribal. Dom does a heck of a job just making sure that Desi feels comfortable. It's obvious that Desi's going because the Malolo, all four of them are just keeping strong. Kellen is like looking around like, really? Like they're all telling the truth. She's just like, she's making sure that what they're saying is lining up, and it's they're all to Kellen, it sucks that was the truth, I'm sure, to her because she trusted Desi, but
she did not want to believe it, but if it's the truth, it's the truth.
Yeah. So it sucks that Desi did that because I think Kellen necessarily wasn't playing a game that hurt herself. It was Desi's fault that Kellen was put into this position.
Yeah, exactly. But Desi just wanted to make a big move. She wanted a resume.
Yeah,
but like we said, every reason we said before was why it didn't work out for her.
I think as a podcast put it the best. They said that I don't remember what episode it was that they had, but it was just like this episode is not big move survival. Like not this episode, this season, and probably last season as well, isn't really big move Survivor. They're playing safe. They're playing and I'm like, and people were like, oh, we want to see big moves. Those are the good moves, and big moves are not equal to good moves, correct moves. Correct moves are the moves that put you in the best position possible moving forward. And yes, sometimes that's a big move. For example, last season, getting out JP, that was the correct move. But this season, getting out Kellen, that would have given Laurel no advantage whatsoever. It would have actually hurt her game on many more levels than people realize because she has built this trust with Dom and Wendell, who have idols again. Yeah. And if she takes out Kellen, yes, Navidi loses a number and it's 6-4, and technically in both scenarios, Navidi loses a number.
Yeah, but technically they lose anyway. So with Desi gone, so Malolo's happy. They don't care.
Exactly. In both scenarios, Navidi loses number. The problem is that in one scenario, they still have Dom and Wendell's trust, who have the most power. And on the other side, and Dom and Wendell are not going home in either scenario. Mind you, they're still in the game. And then in the opposite scenario, one scenario they lose Dom and Wendell's trust, and the other scenario they keep Dom and Wendell's trust. And you want to keep trust. You want people to trust you. You want to be in a position where people trust you and come to you with information. And by getting out Desi over Kellen, they are keeping that status. And it's just smarter long-term play. And that's what people are thinking of right now.
Right. And again, there's 10 people left now. Laurel is in a good spot right now. We're both with Malolo and with Navidi this episode. And like I said before, she's going to turn on them at some point. I know it. First off,
Dom, Wendell, and Sebastian all trust Laurel. All three of them trust Laurel. Sebastian through Jenna trusts Laurel, but regardless, they trust Laurel. Chelsea does not.
I forgot about that Sebastian Jenna thing.
Yeah.
Right. That's
exactly.
They showed that in an episode, so it's going to be important.
Yeah, exactly. And they end up dating in real life anyway. So yes, it is a real thing.
Do they really?
Yes, they do. They are dating. Michael and Libby are dating in real life.
What?
Kellen, yes.
How old is Libby?
She's only like 3 or 4 years older than him.
Okay, that's not that bad then. But
Kellen and Bradley are dating. And
wait,
Sebastian.
What? Who?
Kellen and Bradley are dating. Yes.
What the Bradley?
Yeah. To be fair to Bradley, he is different in real life than he is in the show. So,
okay.
To be fair, and I will say it on record here. While I love Bradley getting blindsided, I kind of miss him because he's someone that was at least entertaining to see get voted off. Like Desi was like seeing Desi get voted off tonight was more of a relief than it was a reward.
I disliked Bradley early on, but like as the season went on, I started liking him more and more.
Yeah, now I miss him.
Yeah, and I do miss him. I do hope they bring him back, although I don't think they will. But you never know, because there's a lot of good players this season.
He's a likable villain, like not in the sense that like, oh, like I like him for being devious and shit. No, he's a likable villain because you love to hate this kid, and it's like he's kind of like he's not like Russell and him are just completely different players. I want to preface this, but he's kind of like Russell, without Russell in Samoa or Heroes versus Villains, those seasons become extremely boring.
Yeah, that's true. Although Russell only got to stay for certain reasons, but whatever. All right, so I guess we'll end it there. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below. We have a Patreon. Yes, down in the description box below, you can find a link to our Patreon. If you donate $3 or more a month, I will personally shout out your name at the end of every video. And for that, I want to give a shout out to Patty, Peggy, and Peter for supporting our channel. Thank you for being big fans, and I hope you continue donating. And for those of you who do not donate but want that shout out, I know you want it, especially with Big Brother coming up soon. Well, I'll be doing like 5 videos a week. Actually, probably way more than that. Link is in the description box below. Also, Nate, I have your thing in the description box below, so go ahead.
Okay, so I host a game called The System. It's a series online. We just finished season 2, or the finale was this past Monday. And we're starting up season 3 immediately. So you only have 10 more days to apply if you want to play. It's a lot of fun. It's only 21 days if you make it to the end. And it's a lot of fun. I honestly recommend the system. This season of The System is Washington, D.C. themed. And we are taking a lot of inspiration from the two-party system in the U.S. So I'm really excited for what it has to offer, and we are very excited for the people who are applying. So apply. You might have some fun.
All right. And last but not least, YouTube has demonetized us because you now need 1,000 subscribers to put advertisements on your video, which is bullshit because we've been monetized for like the past 2 years, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So please hit that subscription button below, and also hit that little bell icon so you know whenever we're doing a video, which, spoiler alert, it's every Wednesday around this time. At least for the next few weeks. But please subscribe to our channel and help us get to 1,000 subscribers. And I guess we'll end it there. I want to thank you guys for watching so much. Mike Lawson says, damn you, YouTube. Yes, damn you, YouTube. Mike Lawson also says, have you watched Australian Survivor or Survivor New Zealand, or do you just stick with the US version? I just stick with the US version. Do you watch?
I watch Australian Survivor. It's really good.
How about New Zealand?
I do not watch New Zealand. The last season they had was awful. So it's, no. Right. But Australian Survivor is really good editing, really good casting, a lot of good players. So I like it.
All right, you've heard it here first, folks. Go watch Australian Survivor and maybe give New Zealand a shot, but don't get your hopes up. Do you want to give people your Twitter handle, Nate?
Twitter handle is Hatzmania, HATZ Mania. If I'm pissed off about a Survivor episode, I will be tweeting about that, or pissed off about people who have stupid opinions about Survivor, I will be tweeting about that. But other than that, yeah, that's where you can find me, as well as advertisements for systems. So yeah, check that out too.
And you guys can follow me at Room Podcast, where I'll maybe make a post at some point. Until next time, peace.
Yeah.